Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's staying warm and safe in the midst of this blizzard that's blanketed most of the East Coast. I decided to bring out my video a little bit earlier in the week because, from my Instagram feed at least, the next post that I create is a milestone. I will have reached post number 3,000, which, if you had told me, I would have still have kept going with my poems, my photos, my gratitudes back then, and still have kept it going till now, I would not have believed you. But there's something that brings me joy every time I press share. And also it brings joy and a bit of validation in what I'm doing whenever people like, comment, and share my work, which it means that it's resonating somewhere in the world, that the words are not in an echo chamber. Like my work, that it's that my words are getting some degree of resonance out of somebody, for which I can't thank all of you enough for all the encouragement and support over the last 2,999 posts. With that being said, it's time for this week's reading. I hope you're hungry for this one. So, a little bit of background. I rejoined Maria Giesbrecht's poetry writing group Gather. Maria's the Guelph poet on Instagram, and I can't encourage you enough to visit, like, follow, and read her words. Her writing is worth all the time, attention, and flowers that it gets. Just being in your presence, even if it's on screen, I feel like I become a better writer, even though I'm not even close to her league, or close to any of the other poets in Gather's league for that matter. So we've been writing for the month of February. We've been focusing on food poetry, and Maria set us up with a challenge to bring the poems that we write and gather out of the container and into the world. And it's this idea in mind that I am going to read this poem that I've been working on during this month. And it goes something like this. Ode to the Albondiga. Sizzling in clay bowls, the whiff of spicy tomato sauce brings a grin. When albondigas are listed on the menu, it's automatic. Yes. Anticipation grows. I'm ready to eat, reaching for the spoon. Splitting each one in half, the spice reaches my nose. Notes of tomato and oregano appear. With the first bite, a contented sigh. I want to linger in this ritual of Spain. I finish my bottle of Estrella Damm beer. As I sit at the table, peeking over the dessert menu. A choice: sherry, dessert wine, or Basque cheesecake. At every tapas bar, this ritual plays out. From New York City, Toronto, and London, Madrid, Barcelona, and Seville. So the challenge was to think of a humble food, a food that we've encountered, and to write about it. And it didn't take too much thought to go with the albondiga, which is Spanish for meatballs. As in every tapas bar that I've set foot in, if it's on the menu, it's my go-to choice. As a savory spice brings me joy, as the hit hit my nostrils. But when it comes to albondigas, we have to go a bit further back, as this would whenever ground beef was taken out of the freezer, usually on the Friday evenings, at least once a month or so, albondigas would be the dish that's served for dinner, and I would perk up a little bit whenever I saw them on my plate. And just savor, just every time I would like crack them with a spoon and savor them as I tasted them, it was something that felt good. These days I end up having to go to tapas bars to get that same feeling. And combined with the scenery of wherever I'm in, and usually in Estrella Dam or its equivalents for my drink, it brings that hint of joy that came through as a child. That same hint of joy that hits when I'm in any tapas bar, and that same like hint of joy that happens when I'm both feet are in Spain. Albondigas are not just a humble food to me; they're a gateway to my past, a marker of the pre- and the marker of the present, all in a sizzling plate of usually 3 or 4 of them at a time. Well, everyone, that's it for this week's video. That's a wrap for post number 3000, and I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your week. For those in the aftermath of the blizzard, stay warm. Be careful with the snow and ice that will inevitably ensue. And take care of each other. And I'll talk to you guys again next week. Good night, everybody.